sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live for another edition of Across the Board. We're going to be talking about the Indiana National Champs, also the NFL Conference Championship games are this weekend, and we got a couple of more things we want to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about some NASCAR tonight with our man SEC Sean. Tonight, I got in here with me my man Post Game of the Post Game 86 podcast. How you feeling post game?
Feeling good, feeling good. How y'all doing?
Doing good. We also got our man Zach in the building with us tonight. How you feeling, Zach?
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you was able to make it tonight too. Post game, you looking like the Grim Reaper back there, bro.
Yeah. I gotta I'm screaming in my garage, man. It's cold, man. That's all.
Hey, bro. I'm glad I'm not streaming in my garage because it's probably about 5 below zero out there in that garage, bro. We also got our man SEC Sean. He's in the building with us tonight too. How you feeling, SEC Sean?
Cold.
Cold, bro. Cold.
Bro, you got to remember, I've only been up here 5 years. This don't happen in Houston, Texas. Okay, and if it does, the whole city's closed for like a week. So, now we're doing good though. You're gonna make it on.
Yeah, I was in Dallas back in 1998, man, and I swear to God, a little bit of snowflakes came down, and they was panicking like, "Oh, I gotta get home." I'm like, "What?"
Yep.
But when you ain't got no ice trucks and you ain't got no stuff like that to take care of the streets, then I guess you got to get home. But it was shocking to me because I'm like, we drive in crazy weather all the time. Let me get y'all's how impressive was Indiana's victory last night over Miami 27-21. How impressive was Indiana with that win last night?
Go ahead, SEC.
All right. Well, I never know with you and me, Post, who's going to go first to steal the other person's thunder. So, it was impressive. I like the way Indiana came out. I thought Miami would due to their defense, but I think Indiana's game plan against that defensive line was prime. Just, they weren't just going right at them. They were more of almost a delay running attack where the quarterback would get the ball and then hand off, and then the running back would kind of wait and then go let the defensive line come up the field. It was impressive. I was pretty shocked. I mean, I was kind of thinking it was a boring game for the longest time. Then it got good. But you got to give Indiana all the credit. I mean, Signetti did what probably nobody ever thought would happen. Now, we'll get into my theory on it going forward, and we'll see what he can do next year when all those players that are 5, 6, 7-year players leave. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how the rebuild goes, but got to give Indiana their props. Super impressive. They took it to Miami and punched them in the mouth and said, "We're just as physical as you are, if not more."
100%, man. And you know what? I not only was I impressed by IU's performance last night, I'm just the totality of their season is super impressive. The last 2 years, really, but to have that kind of grit, that resilience, that discipline that they displayed last night, I was extremely impressed, man. Hats off to Indiana. What a great season. What a great game. Coaching, players. It was just awesome, man. I can't give them enough compliments. This was extremely impressive. Did they play their best game of the season? Probably not. But who has played their best game of the season against a Miami team like that? But still, all in all, man, super impressive.
I'm going to agree with you there post game. I'd say that you got to give all the credit to Mr. Signetti. Definitely was a good performance. Obviously not their best, but I mean it came down to the wire, and they took over. And as you can tell, I mean they won the Big Ten, beating Ohio State and beating all these great teams during the playoffs, and it just really came down to who wanted it more. And I think Fernando Mendoza really took over and showed why he won the Heisman.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with Indiana last night because whenever they had to face adversity, they were able to do that. Miami was able to steal some momentum, and I don't know what that number 87 was doing for Miami to let that guy go free to get that block. But that totally flipped the game, I think, for me, and put Indiana back in the driver's seat. And then you get into the later on in the game, and they got to go for it on a 4th and 5, and they get it on the back shoulder throw. I think on that drive they had 2 back shoulder throws that they completed, man, to be able to keep that drive alive. And then Mendoza put on his cape, bro, and scored that touchdown. But guess what? Miami came right back. And Miami came right back, and then Indiana Hoosiers did not fold. They went right back down the field and got a field goal to take a 6-point lead. And then the INT at the end. Listen, that Indiana team was very impressive because there was multiple times in that game where they could have been like, great season, y'all, but this team right now that we're playing might be a little bit more athletic than us. We can't quite stop them when they go up tempo. But Indiana gritted it out, man, and got the win. Hats off to Kurt Signetti. Hats off to that team there at Indiana. Congratulations on being the 2026, or is it the 2025 national champions?
Both,
right? Both, right. We got our man Mossberg out there in the chat. Thanks for joining the chat with us, Mossberg. And we got our man Doug in the chat as well. Thanks for joining us, Doug.
I did not know that Miami hired Texas A&M's punt coordinator, because that's apparently what it looked like. We had a blocked punt with Notre Dame. We had a blocked punt with South Carolina. And I'm going to tell you, number 87, I don't put it on one player, but number 87 changed the momentum of that game by not chipping that. If he chips him at all, that punt's away.
Yeah. That punt gets away, and we might be looking at a different outcome in that game. But what happened, and Miami was able to secure that victory. A really, really impressive win by them. When Indiana was up 10-0 at the half, what adjustments did you see from Miami to close the gap and make it a good game?
Oh man, really, I just think they opened up their playbook. I think, if we speaking about the offense, I think they put an emphasis on the big plays with Malachi Tony, and then their running back. I think the only thing they did was open up the playbook and start hitting on their explosive plays, which brought them back in the game and probably would have led them to victory had they not gave up that block punt, like SEC Sean mentioned. On defense, listen, this game, what we saw last night was 2 teams going to their bread and butter to be successful. Miami on defense, I spoke about the offense, but on defense, they went to their bread and butter and unleashed those pass rushers. I believe they had 3 sacks in the second half, a couple of stops behind the line of scrimmage. Indiana went to their bread and butter. That back shoulder throw, I think, Rob, you mentioned that, those RPOs, bread and butter. But for Miami, I think it was just opening up that playbook and putting the emphasis on those explosive plays. On defense, just letting their best players disrupt the Indiana offense.
I'd say the biggest thing about what they changed at half was the fact that they had nothing to lose. I mean, obviously they're playing for a national championship, but they got to that point where it was like, we're down 10-0. What are we gonna do? And they just came out and they honestly, I think, probably did the best they could. They punched him in the mouth but they reacted Indiana reacted the right way, and it turned out to be Indiana's day. And all respect to Miami, they're a great program, but they weren't ready for what Indiana had to throw at them.
Yeah, at 10-0, I was a little concerned. Going into halftime, I didn't really know. I kind of was sitting there joking on. I was doing a watch along with some other people, and kind of made the comment that they need to pull a Space Jam and use some of Michael's secret sauce, but just a different Michael. And it looked like that number 4 used some of Michael's secret sauce on the second play or when they got the ball, because that little cat was gone. I thought the momentum switched. Miami put 3 and out, got the ball, scored in 2 plays, and I thought, okay, they seem to have woke up. But I was impressed with the adjustments Miami made. But being as impressed with Miami's adjustments is, I was more impressed that Indiana withstood that. And I said this on our preview about it. I told everybody, Malachi Toney needs 15 plus touches. He had 14. There's a problem. If he gets a couple more touches, this is maybe a different game. But it was good adjustments.
Yeah, I felt like Miami finally recognized that maybe they had a little bit more speed, and they end up going up tempo. And we talked about them getting the ball to Malachi Toney on targets the motions, so that way you can see what the defense is doing. Are they manning up with Toney? Are they what kind of disguise are they going to do when you move him around? And once they started moving him around a little bit more consistently, they were able to recognize some things, I think, from Indiana's defense, staying back in the zone that they were playing, and they were able to get him the ball in space quite a bit. He showed out, man. He played really, really well in that game. And I thought the up-tempo style that Miami started playing in the second half really helped them out a lot as well. That kept Indiana off balance, kept them from being able to substitute, and also kept them from being able to get set on some of the plays that they wanted to get set on, because they had to get set right away as opposed to seeing what the offense was going to look like. So I think that helped them out a lot. But like you all said, Indiana's ability to be able to adjust and pull out the victory, even though Miami had some success in the second half, was really, really good. And my man, 501 Street 2, we hope Lee Corso lives a long life. We hope he lives a long, long life. Let me see where I'm at. How did y'all feel about the refereeing in that game?
Oh, go ahead. I'll throw it for the next topic. I just got a question that I need answered because I missed part of this, and I want to see if anybody else caught it. So we'll catch it on the next one. The reffing, whatever. I mean, I don't think the refs were a talking point of the game, which is what it needs to be. I think there were some calls that could have been made, some calls that maybe couldn't have been made. I didn't like the pass interference in Miami on 29 when he was hand fighting with Surratt on the edge. They were both hand fighting, and he was looking back at the ball. I didn't like that call at all. But then again, one of the players from Miami should have been ejected for targeting probably when he drilled Mendoza in the face. So, but I didn't like that PI call. That one, I didn't like that one at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what my man SEC Sean just said. I mean, reference was what it was. Was it some missed calls? Yeah. Was it some players where I felt they should have let them keep just play the game in a national championship game when we're trying to crown the champion? Absolutely. So I mean, I really it is what it is when it comes to refs. The only thing I'm gonna say is like I always say, just keep it consistent.
I'd say the biggest thing with the reffing was like they weren't very vocal. Like it wasn't. I mean, reffing is always can be hit or miss. It can be great. It can be awful. It just really depends. And I think that last night just really wasn't like present. And I think that in a way that can be good sometimes. But honestly, just I agree with Sean on how he's talked about that PI call. I agree with that for sure. But for the most part, I mean, it wasn't very like, and it wasn't the topic of the game. Like someone they weren't doing enough, or they weren't doing, or they were doing too much. So it's just like it was kind of mediocre in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought they swallowed their whistle quite a bit in that game, which, it really didn't affect the outcome of the game. So that was the most important thing for me. They allowed the two teams, especially on the back end, they was letting them get. I know y'all talked about that PI call, but they was letting them get away with a lot on that back end, man, with some of the wide receivers and the defensive backs and stuff, which was cool because it was equal both ways. I felt like the refereeing didn't have any bearing on the outcome, so I was cool with it. Our man Doug says refs let them play most for the most part. No call on the late hit, out of bounds on Miami. Yeah, like the tug like a tug on every day. So I think the referees just really was swallowing their whistle. Was like, listen, whoever gonna win it, you're gonna have to go out there and win it. It's not gonna be because we made a call one way or the other. And he also thinks that Mendoza might be the next Andrew Luck. Big kid, good arm, high character, and smart.
No, sir. Doug, I love you. You way off on that one, buddy. Andrew Luck was a generational talent. I believe this guy's thinking about 2027 as far as drafting the quarterback. I think you would rather be in that draft. If Andrew Luck was in this draft, there's no way everybody and their mama would be trying to move up for that first pick.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, SEC Sean?
Well, I know the next topic you got is any other thoughts, so we can go ahead and jump to that if we're done with the reffing. So that way there we can hit that one because I can throw it under that topic.
All right, cool.
It's an echo, guys. I don't know if y'all hear it, but it's an echo.
Yeah.
I don't hear. It might be me. I don't hear anything.
I
I
don't.
don't. Yeah, I don't hear it either. Are there any other thoughts about that national championship game y'all want to talk about?
Well, it's not really a thought; it's more of a question because I didn't notice it, and I want to see if I missed something. I'm not going to lie to y'all; I went to bed before the end of this game. Um, I'm old, and I didn't have a dog in the fight, so whatever. Um, I didn't see Miami put Malachi at QB a lot, if at all. Not when I was watching. Some of those 4th and 1s that they went for and they missed. I mean, I was thinking that's a prime option to give Malachi the ball.
Mm.
I'm just curious. Did I miss it? Did they do it later in the game, like in the 4th quarter? I don't know.
Nah, he was a decoy. On their short yardage plays, he was a decoy.
Yeah, man. I listen. I don't got much, but I will say this in hindsight, and we all know what hindsight is. I should have picked Indiana, and I went with Miami. But the reason why I showed last night with that last interception thrown by Carson Beck, I hear an echo, fellas. It's
Yeah, that is
crazy.
an echo.
But listen, man, that play, trying to make that throw, that's the kind of throw first overall picks make. That same exact throw was made by Alabama. I believe it was Tua to Devontae Smith. Same exact coverage, same exact throw. You are not the first overall pick. You're probably not even a first round quarterback at this point, Carson Beck. You had no business trying to make that throw. It did the only way that play works, you gotta hit him on his outside shoulder. That's the only way it's gonna work. And they the corner undercuts it. Like you underthrew it right to the corner. Like national championship game, man. You just can't try to force a throw like that, man. You gotta be smarter.
I mean,
Oh, my bad, Zach.
no, you're good. I mean, it's a great game. It's the national championship. Everybody looks forward to it every year. Definitely was. If you would have told me before the season these are the two teams that are going to play, I would have probably laughed in your face. But I mean, all respect to them. I think that two great programs this year. Miami's defense was obviously amazing, but I just think that Indiana, they were my pick after they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. They looked fantastic, and then obviously they rolled through everybody in the playoffs, and they just got to give the respect where it's due.
Yeah, hats off to Kurt Signetti and that Indiana team, man. They had a really really good season, man. It's probably beyond really really good. The way they played all season to be able to win that game against Iowa, to be able to win that game against Penn State, get into the Big Ten championship game, and beat an Ohio State team that we felt like was probably the best team in the country for most of the season until they met that Indiana team, who was able to hold them to 10 points, I think it was. And so hats off to them, man. Really, really great season. Hopefully they can make it back to the college football playoffs again next year. And we don't think that this is a 2-year fluke with some upper age college guys.
Y'all all get ready for ESPN to release and Disney to release Hoosiers 2.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody better do a movie on that.
Hey, I got a question for y'all before we move on. Is Signetti a Hall of Famer right now?
No.
No,
Why not?
not yet.
He ain't got that time under his belt yet.
Got to do it a couple
Well,
more times.
He got 2 national championships, and I believe he's won national championships as an assistant.
He just need time. That's all. Once he get the time up under his belt, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Just from his resume right now, he just got to get enough time up under his belt. Is all.
Yeah, I don't say Hall of Fame yet. Easily top 10 coach, easily in the top 10, probably in the top 5. Not ready to put Hall of Fame yet.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good question though. I mean, it's legit.
What's your early thoughts on the NFC Championship game between the Rams and the Seahawks?
I'll go last. I probably got the most to say about it.
Yeah, I know that's your squad, my man, so that works. But, I mean, hell of a matchup. It's crazy that they're from the same division and they're meeting in the NFC Championship. That whole division was stacked this year, though, with San Fran, uh, the Rams, and the Seahawks. So, I mean, I think early on, as I'm analyzing this game, I don't wish injury on anybody, but I think it's a good thing that it's probably going to be a good thing that Charbonnet is going to be out so that Kenneth Walker can get all the work. I think he's like sorely underrated running back. I think the world of Kenneth Walker ever since I saw him at Michigan State. I mean, I think they're doing themselves a injustice by not giving him more carries, more work. So hopefully that turns out being the case where he's actually the true workhorse running back. You don't have to split times with Charbonnet, although I wish him a speedy recovery. But I mean, I, this is going to be a tough one because I just love the Seahawks defense, man. I think they can cause anybody trouble. But if I'm staying true to my picks, then I got to take the Rams in this game. I just think Matthew Stafford is a great. I like those wide receivers that they have. I mean, it's going to be a close game, man. That echo is crazy, man. And I'm not saying that for me. I'm saying that for the people listening. I know if I hear it, the people out there listening, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, the I'm a favor the Rams in this game. Even though I think the Seahawks are going to cause a lot of problems on defense, I just think it's the Rams' time, man. I just feel that way. If I'm picking with my head, I'm probably picking the Seahawks, but admittedly, I'm picking this one with my heart. So I'm gonna favor the Rams in this game.
This is another one of those that you spot. I mean, first off, it's in Seattle. That's not an easy place to play. But on that note, I need to highlight a comment here that our buddy Moss mentioned and let him know that I know Zach's a Seahawks guy, and that's cool, but they're not repping the 12th man, brother. They got sued for that. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. There's only one 12th man, brother. All right, so let's just go ahead and stop that. It's a hell of an environment in Seattle, though, to play in. Those fans are electric. I'm not going to lie. That is crazy. I'm with postgame. I think the Rams win this game very, very, very close. I'm not ready to give a score prediction on it yet, but I take the Rams to win it. I think Stafford's experience is going to pay off in a game like this. So I just that's where my head's leaning right now. So we'll see what happens, but I've got the Rams winning in a close one.
Well, Zach, you might be the only one going for your Seattle Seahawks, bro. Because I
okay.
picked the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl when this thing first started, man, with the playoffs. I picked them to make it to the Super Bowl. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, I'm not confident in that at all. Once I seen that Seahawks defense these last couple of weeks, my man Byron Murphy on that defensive line wrecking havoc at 6'1", 295, 300 pounds. Hey, man, I want to change my pick so bad, but I got to go with what I said from the beginning. I think that the Rams are going to win a really, really close game. But if they don't run the ball better against the Seahawks, which they probably won't be able to do, then what they did against the Bears, they're going to be in some trouble, man, because they cannot leave it on the back of Matthew Stafford. Even though he's a veteran quarterback, he can do his thing. If they struggle like they did at points in that game, like they did against the Bears, the Seahawks are welcome. But we got to remember they got Sam Darnold at the quarterback position, and we ain't 100% sold on Sammy. So I'm going with the Rams, man, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Well, I respect all of your opinions. And I honestly, you could be 100% correct. Stafford is amazing. I can't sugarcoat it any higher than that. That team is the only team in the NFL that terrifies me. And I'd say, well, I mean, we're in for something here. I mean, you can't write the storybooks even better. I mean, did I want to play the Bears? Absolutely. I think we would have had a similar game to the Niners if we played the Bears. They wouldn't know what to do. They've never played a defense like us. It would have been hard for them. But that's not where we're at. We are playing the Los Angeles Rams, the team that is our kryptonite. And I'd say, but hold that thought. We beat them. We came back from 16 points with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. What else can you say about that? I think what is going to stand out in this game that's going to be different than all the ones we played this season is now Sam knows he can beat the Rams. Sam has gotten over that hump in his mind. Because last year, obviously, in Minnesota, they got killed. And the first game that we played, he threw 4 picks, and we still had a chance to beat them in the fourth quarter with like a last-second field goal. If Sam plays mediocre, it could be a pick. It could be a game like he just had. He was like 12 for 17 for like 150 yards and no picks. We can rely on our 3 phases of football better than any other team in football does because we have a great special teams, probably the best with Rashid Shaheed right now. Our defense, arguably the best defense in football. And our offense just has to play mediocre. And the fact that Charbonnet is out definitely hurts. I'll say that in the front. But Kenneth Walker is our number 1 guy. He's going to be just fine. He had, I think, 120 yards and 3 touchdowns last game. That's all out of the fact that Charbonnet wasn't playing. So I think that we're going to be okay. And it's kind of hard to say that because, like, obviously it's Matthew Stafford, they have Puka, they have Devontae Adams, they have a loaded roster. But I think it'll come down to Sam. But Sam, I think, can do it because he's done it before. And he had never been able to say that. And the fact is that he's going to face them on the biggest stage to do it, to go to the big game. I think honestly he can do it if he plays mediocre. That's been my topic all year, and I've talked about how you can build a team around him and he will succeed. Obviously, we've had 3 losses this whole season, combined 9 points, which is unreal. It always come down to last-second field goals or stupid plays in the end. And, I mean, you can't say much more about this team. I think if Sam just plays okay, he can throw a pick. I don't think this is going to be close.
Zach, if y'all make the Super Bowl, do you think y'all can beat the Patriots or the Broncos?
I don't think it would be even close. I would put my life savings on the fact that whoever wins this game is winning the Super Bowl. 10,000%. I mean, that we haven't lost, us or the Rams have not lost to an AFC team this whole season. And I don't think it'll change in Santa Clara.
I agree with that 100%. I think this is the Super Bowl this week.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I'm kind of curious, Robert. Why are you so showing all this love to Murphy?
Byron Murphy?
Yeah, why are you showing him all the love?
He's a Texas Longhorn.
Why aren't you showing any love for Jordan Whittington for the Rams?
Because
he's from Texas. Longhorn. Come on now.
Sean, we probably got about 13 guys on these 4 teams, man. About 13 guys.
But you got to give Whittington the love too. You gave
I love Jordan Whittington. He's just not as much of a factor for the Rams as Byron Murphy is for the Seahawks. I love Jordan Whittington.
I got one question for everybody. Should the Seahawks GM, John Schneider, win Executive of the Year? He's had great draft classes. He has built this defense to mock the Legion of Boom. He drafted Nick Emanwari. This could be the Defensive Rookie of the Year. We have Leonard Williams, a 12-year vet who's playing like it's his second year. We traded, or I think it was free agent, DeMarcus Lawrence, who's playing like it's his rookie year again. We have arguably 2 of the best corners with Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen, and Josh Jobe is also a great one too. And then we have in the middle, Ernest Jones, all pro. Well, I mean, I don't understand how John finds these guys just randomly and from school to school. And like, you can't look past that. And I think that he deserves to win like Executive of the Year. Let's see what your guys' thoughts are.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Seattle, hats off to y'all scouting department. because y'all always seem to find players that everybody else aren't looking at. I gotta agree with Zach, man. I can't really think. Maybe New England's at second, but there is nobody. I think, yeah, I agree with you, Zach. I don't think anybody else has done as good of a job as he has. Accumulating talent, putting that team together. Sam Darnold at quarterback, the running backs. I mean, it's just he did a fabulous job. So off top, I can't think of anybody in that position that's made it as good as move. So I'm gonna
Maybe
agree with
the
Zach on
the
this.
the Patriots guy is like the only one I can think
Yeah,
of, and maybe I mean, the Browns, they're not doing anything, so I can't really count them. But
no, you
since the
can't count
Patriots
them.
are in that spot too, I think it's between us and them.
Yeah, that's
See,
that's why I mentioned as a close second. But first, I'm gonna have to give it to Seattle because I think more so with New England, it's more so coaching as opposed to Seattle's success. It's like everything. You know what I mean? So
I
Mike
think,
McDonald.
yeah, I think I'd have to go. Yeah, New England was on my list for sure. But since post game's already mentioned them, I like what the GM at the Texans has done in Houston. Draft, free agent pickups. I mean, that's so just to be somebody different. I would probably easily say those are the top three, though, for sure. For if you want to go the top three executives of the year, that has to be, to me, the top three. Um, and if the guy from Houston won it, I don't think you could argue. If New England, yeah, I don't think anybody could argue because there could be a case made for all three of them.
Who would you guys say is coach of the year?
It's got to be Vrabel's in New England. It has to be. Nobody saw New England doing this. Maybe getting into the playoffs, maybe. Not this.
yeah, I agree with Vrabel. And another team we got to take our hats off to is the Chicago Bears, man. Listen, starting with the coaching hire, that draft they had last season was cash money. The free agents they were able to pick up. I mean, you got to put the Chicago Bears in that argument as well. But coach, I'm with SEC Sean. I like what Vrabel has done. Rob, I think your team, the Titans, got rid of Vrabel a little bit too quick. But I mean, what he's been doing in New England is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, in terms of the Seahawks GM, the most important position that we all believe on the football field is the quarterback position. He could have probably stayed with Geno Smith. He probably could have matched that offer that the Raiders gave him and kept him. But he said, nah, get to stepping. We did all we could do with you last year, or you only won this many games. They had a pretty solid team last year too. But he went and got Sam Darnold, a guy who I thought my Titans was going to draft or was going to get in free agency before they drafted Cam Ward. I thought they was going to get him, let him be there for a couple of years, draft a quarterback, and let that quarterback sit behind Sam for a minute, but they didn't do that. But I think the fact that he made the move that he made to get the quarterback that he got probably puts him over the top of New England and the Houston Texans. As far as coach of the year, I'm going to throw the Carolina Panthers in there. If they only had a couple of more wins, they probably could compare with Vrabel and the coach at the Chicago Bears because their win totals to loss total is probably the deciding factor between them two winning it, either one of them winning it. But the way the Carolina Panthers was a dumpster fire the year before, to be on the brink of winning that division and making the playoffs, man, it says a lot about their GM and how he put some pieces around Bryce Young and how Bryce Young played this year. So I would throw the Carolina Panthers in there as well, but they probably didn't have enough wins to surpass New England and the Chicago Bears.
I'm going to say one more thing about this Coach of the Year thing. I know I'm biased with Mike McDonald, but I think the biggest thing is he is a second-year head coach. First season, we were 10-7 and just missed the playoffs. In his second year as a head coach, just in general, he was a defensive coordinator for the Ravens. He took us to the NFC Championship and won 14 games, or 15 technically. I think that, yes, Vrabel's a good coach, but he's been in the league too long to become Coach of the Year. I think it stands out with like Ben Johnson as well. I think Ben Johnson's over Vrabel. I think so is Mike McDonald because they are doing more with their teams. Yes, the Patriots are doing good, but Vrabel's a coach that's been in the league for a while. These guys have not. And so I think you should give it to more of the rookie coaches.
Good point. Good point. What about the AFC Championship game between the Patriots and the Broncos? Do the Broncos have a chance without their starting quarterback, Bo Nix, who was having ankle surgery if he didn't already have it already?
Go ahead, SEC.
We'll let Zach get this one first.
So here's my thoughts. It really sucks about Bo Nix. That's awful. You never want to see that happen, especially after the season they have, and their defense is obviously phenomenal. I mean, you can't do much better than that. And the Patriots, I think, they're a good team, but I think what is the hard thing to say about them is they're not impressive, but in a way they are, because they're getting all these wins, but you look at it and you're like, this just doesn't seem right. But I think the Patriots are going to win because they don't have Bo Nix. And personally, as a Seahawks fan, I would like to rewrite history and have us play the Patriots and kick the crap out of them, relive Pete Carroll's name of that horrendous call, and go win us a Super Bowl. But I think the Patriots are going to win, and they're going to play. I think it's not going to be close.
Mossberg, you want to jump in there real quick and answer that question?
It's good to see everybody this evening. I apologize about the background noise. I'm at work trying to get on before I get started. But with the AFC Championship game, the Patriots and the Broncos, I think it's tough to see Bo Nix go out with the injury like that, and just knowing the weight of the games, within itself. But just seeing the Patriots and what they're doing, seeing May from, watching him in the ACC in the Carolina days, to seeing him now in the New England Patriots, I thought he would be the guy to actually change this organization from their losing ways and bring them about. And the way they built this team around Drake May, I mean, you got to credit that organization as well. Hats off to what they do. Kraft is amazing at what he continues to do with that organization as well. But it's a team that's destined, and I think they're a team that could actually win it all. And they have players that's played in these AFC Championship games, and we see what Diggs is bringing to the table amongst other weapons that they have. And Stevenson, Travion Henderson, they definitely got to get some respect put on their names, because they definitely been coming in and handling the business as well.
Yeah, good to see you in here too, Moss. Man, listen, I agree with Zach, man. It's New England is one of those teams where it just feels like they're not supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? Like it just don't feel right. But if you actually watch this team, this is a hell of a New England Patriots team. Like, I love the fact they got Stephon Diggs and so many other receivers, but Drake May doesn't lock on to one receiver. He spreads like it every other week. There's a different receiver going off. Like, he doesn't just lock on to one guy. Then their solid offensive line play, their running backs and Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson. That's a hell of a team. And we know Vrabel gonna bring a great game plan when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. So I mean, I like the Broncos. I think their defense is lights out as well. But them not having their quarterback, and I like Stidham. I think Stidham can slang it. And we all saw what happened with the type of run the Philadelphia Eagles went on when they lost Carson Wentz and they had to have Nick Foles step in. So can we see a repeat of that? I doubt it. So I'm a favor New England in this one. I know it feels like they're not supposed to make it this far, but I just like what I see out of Drake May and that coaching staff. So I'm gonna take New England.
I'm taking Denver without Knicks. I think Denver's defense is going to be the difference in it. Denver's at home. Not kind of the same home field advantage as you would get in a Seattle. But again, you're at elevation. And it's different to play there. And a little fact, if y'all don't know, when you come out of Denver's visiting locker room, there is all kinds of signs and warnings about elevation and all this stuff and how it affects you and all this when you're walking down the tunnel. That's what you see. So it's in your head. I like Stidham. I've liked him since the kid played high school ball at Stephenville High School in Texas. So I'm pulling for him. I don't have a dog in the fight, so I'm going to pull for the Texas kid. Why not? So I like Denver. I like their defense. I think Stidham makes enough plays to get it done.
My man Doug said with Sean, he said Denver, rally around Stidham, right coach the game, the right game plan for him. So I'm going with the Broncos too. Sort of for the same reasons SEC Sean is. He's going with the Texas guy and Stidham. But I'm going with them 6 Texas Longhorns that they got on that Denver Broncos team. I feel like Denver and Coach Sean Payton are going to be able to give Stidham the running game he's going to need. They're going to give him the scheme that he needs in order to manage this game and to win it and rely on that defense to do what they do. And I think they're going to be able to beat Drake May and Vrabel's team on whatever day they play, whether it be Saturday or Sunday. I'm going with Denver in this game because I think their defense is going to be the deciding factor. And they're going to pull out this very, very close, narrow victory. But I'm taking the Denver Broncos to win this game over the Patriots.
Real quick,
both games are Sunday, Rob.
Okay, Sunday.
Real quick, I was like kind of getting misconstrued and just jumping in, but I'm gonna go with the Patriots. The reason I'm gonna go with the Patriots, I know Denver's a tough place to play. You don't just lose Bo Nix, you lose in a franchise quarterback in this game. I think Drake May, he's already preparing himself for the elevation. Like I said about this team being destined, I think when you have the type of players that they have, and they've been in situations like this, quite a few players have played in Denver, I think this team is ready. I think they bring that AFC Championship back that's been long awaited. It'll stop a lot of talks about what's going on in Boston, what's going on with this Patriots organization. I think, like I said before, Drake may have changed the dynamics of this franchise. And to see him taking this on at his young age, I think we might be seeing a changing of the guards in the AFC. If Knicks was playing, it would be the talks possibly of the coming years, Knicks versus May. I think this is something we could see in the next few years. Bo Nix coming back healthy next year, he'll definitely be out to prove something. But I'm taking New England in this win. And I just think Dre May possibly could win his first Super Bowl in his young, early career.
If you're a GM of any NFL team, would you select Mendoza as a top 5 pick?
No. I don't see Mendoza as that generational talent of a Luck, Manning, that Elway, Marine. I don't see it. If he gets drafted in the top 5, he's going to a terrible team. Let's be real. And what's their offensive line like? Is he going to get killed? In the first few weeks. Look at Cincinnati drafts Joe Burrow. They have no offensive line. Burrow's been injured half his career. If you're going top 5, putting that much money into a quarterback, you better shore up your offensive line first.
Yeah, I'll be conflicted on this question because if you just look at the what Mendoza is made of, the toughness, the clutch plays, I like what I see out of him. But his size, his measurables, like those type of things you like. The guts, we saw it last night in the national championship, him running and taking those big hits and scoring a really big touchdown for his team. I like Mendoza, but I got to agree with SEC on this. I don't see him as a generational talent. Unfortunately, that's not going to matter this year because the Raiders got the first pick and they need a quarterback, and I just don't see them taking someone else. Could they pivot and trade the pick to somebody else? Maybe the Jets. I don't know. But this is not a year to take a quarterback. The following year will be the year you want to need a quarterback in. But one of those teams between the Raiders and Jets are going to be desperate and overdraft this kid. I like him. I just don't think he's a franchise, like, can't miss prospect.
First off, who else is there in the draft, really? Like, if you look at it, there's not much. I know there's a couple. As a Clemson fan, Cade Klumnik, he's going to be out there. There's a couple of them, but nothing really stands out. So I think that for the Raiders or even the Jets, I think that you have to look at them and say this is the best we got because the Oregon quarterback, he's going back for another year. And I think that you definitely got to look at Mendoza and you're like, well, this is it. If you want to put all your money in one basket, it's got to be him. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. And then off topic, I just thought this was pretty funny that the AFC and NFC championship games are both coached by Mike versus Sean, which is pretty funny. But, yeah.
That's a great question. I think it's a tough ask. The Raiders drafted their running back last year, so when it comes to having that quarterback right there, not knowing if it could change their franchise, I think they might choose him. I don't think he's a generational quarterback. I wouldn't choose him top 5. I think he's a great college quarterback. I just don't think he's for the NFL as far as in that generational, that top 5 pick. It just made me think about Shador last year. They had a chance to get him, and they didn't. And then they, right here, and would they get Mendoza? So there's so many things, but I definitely don't think he's generational top 5 quarterback. I just don't think. I think he's a great college quarterback. I think he made his mark in history of college football, and I think that's where it's going to stick, and that's where it's going to stay. Nothing against what he's done in his career and him wanting to develop and be greater, but I just think it's for college football. That's just my opinion.
You want to go ahead, Rob? Because I want to cook on this, man, so bad.
Yeah. I just think he's just one of those players that's going to need some time to develop in the NFL. So I would not pick him that high. I would try to maneuver some trades and get some of those for sure shot pieces like a Reuben Bain, like Marvell, was it Reese? Is that his name, Marvell Reese? Something like that. Somebody that I know is going to be a for sure shot that's going to help my team right away. I wouldn't necessarily draft Mendoza, but I would pick him up if I could get him for a steal later on, maybe in the first round or early in the second round. I would probably pick him up, but definitely not in the top 5.
Look, man, it's tough because there are some quarterback needy teams out there. The thing is this when it comes to the NFL draft and evaluating quarterbacks, there's always a guy or two out there that nobody's talking about that ends up moving up the draft boards at the draft, the combine process uh, makes his way through the evaluation season. But this guy's like Sawyer Robertson out there for Baylor, who I think has all the tools to be a franchise quarterback. He just played for a college team. Uh, and the problem with this year's draft when it comes to the quarterback position is that next season, that's the season you're gonna want to draft a quarterback. When you talk about guys like Archman and potentially CJ Carr, potentially my man Julian Sagan, there's going to be so many potential franchise changing quarterbacks in next season's draft that if you settle for a guy like Mendoza, who probably wasn't, you didn't grade out that high, but you just went with the need because you need a quarterback, you could be ended up needing a job real soon because of that decision. Because I'm telling you, I like Mendoza. I think he brings a lot to the table. But first overall pick, I'm not sure about it, man. I can name you about 10 quarterbacks I would want to draft ahead of Mendoza. And that's not a slight. It's just the value of a first pick overall, if that makes sense. So that's my take.
Yeah, I feel you
And,
on
and
that.
yeah, that was my point with he's not a generational quarterback in my mind. So you need to build around it. And next year's quarterback class is so much deeper. You mentioned you didn't even mention Moore from Oregon, but a quarterback when you mentioned about guys flying up at the combine and stuff, a name to keep an eye on. And I know Zach, you mentioned Klubnik. Watch Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier has all the intangible. You know, he's got the size, the arm strength. He was injured at LSU this year. I think we all knew that. Watch that kid. He can fly up some draft radars pretty quick.
Yeah, I can see that. Him or Ty Simpson. I can see either one of them flying up some draft boards. How much did D'Angelo Pond improve his draft stock this season and in that game yesterday?
I think in the season he improved it more. I mean, the game, yeah, I mean, it's the showcase, the highlight, it's the marquee game. But I think he had increased, let's say he was a third round pick going into the season. He's probably worked himself up into the early second, late first round, probably. Depending on team needs, but he definitely didn't hurt himself. He definitely didn't hurt himself.
Yeah, that kid is a baller, man. And, I think the only thing that could hold him back from being like a first round pick is obviously his size. He's 5'8", 170. But to me, that don't matter. That dude's heart, his grit, his competitiveness. All he has to do, in my eye, is get to the combine and run it and have great workouts, run a dynamic time, and I think he'll be fine, man. His draft stock will be fine. He'll definitely go in the late first, early second, somewhere in that range in my eye. But he's definitely, I mean, just the stories of him and Smitty battling in high school and how he was overlooked in the recruiting process. So that alone, man. But that kid is a certified baller. somebody's going to get a steal in the draft if they do pass on him and sleep.
I'm definitely with both of them. He definitely didn't hurt it. I mean, I think if anything, I agree that late first, early second, somewhere in that range. I mean, he's a great player. You can't really, it's kind of everything you want. But I'd just say that he definitely didn't hurt it because he's been pretty baller this season, and he can't really, definitely not hurting.
Yeah, he doesn't have the ideal size, but when you look at everything else that he has, his IQ, his ability to be physical, even though he has a small stature, I definitely think he improved his stock over this past season. He went up against some marquee wide receivers and teams and was able to play really, really good. So I think he definitely improved his stock. I hope that he makes it at least in the second round. I hope he doesn't fall any further than that. But if he goes to that combine and runs a really good time, he can solidify himself in the second round for sure. If his time isn't so good and the fact that he's a smaller guy, he might fall to the third round. But he played as well. He's played himself into at least the second round draft pick, in my opinion. We're going to turn this over to our man, SEC Sean, who's going to give us some NASCAR fantasy group discussion.
Real quick though, before I jump into that, size is definitely a factor, but if you're a baller, you're a baller. They're going to find you.
Yeah.
I mean, how many little undersized receivers did New England have back in the day? Playing that slot, Amendola, all them dudes. They were all undersized. Look at what was the running back from K-State a few years back, went to the Sproles.
Sproles, yeah.
I mean, he was undersized. I mean, post game, y'all had Rudy. Come on, man. He got that dog in him. So if you can ball, they're going to find you. I tell that to all the kids when I was in Texas. It don't matter if you're a Division III school. If you're a baller, they're going to find you. So I just wanted to throw this out there real quick. Of course, Zach, I know you haven't really, you're newer with us, which is cool to see you. Glad to have you and your insight and everything. But I also do a lot of NASCAR stuff and give people options to get like free tickets, free point, all this stuff. So I have on my channel, there's like 7 episodes of my NASCAR for beginners, and you can kind of get some insight. But I'm going to try to share this real quick. If you don't mind, Robert, let me know if it works. I'm going to try to share my screen. Hopefully it works. Who knows? Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Okay. So pretty much, let me do this real quick. Open a new tab. Really? There we go. Can you still see it? Or did it go away?
It went away.
Okay, let me go back and try it again. So pretty much when you set up your fan rewards, this will be the home screen on NASCAR or on the mobile app. But you'll have this little icon over here, this little symbol. Click that, and it'll log you into your account. There's my account. I'm sitting at 91 points already. So you hit View Dashboard, and this is where you can get the questions. I post the answers to these questions on my YouTube page under the posts. This answers Team Penske, by the way. So then you come up here and you see fantasy. You click that. You scroll down here, and that's going to pop up with a block thing, but I'll get by that. You have Fantasy Live. These are different challenges they have throughout the year, and you get points for doing all these. You get bonus points for creating a fantasy team, bonus points for every week you play. So I'll hit play now. I have gone in and created a group for anybody watching this that has an account that wants to join. This is my main one, But this is the group I created for anybody watching, subscribing, likes us. WTP Sports Dudes is the group name, and the password is it's password protected because it's private, but the password is actually on the Facebook page. But I can always, if people just ask or whatever, I can always give y'all the password. It's just capital Wood BROS 21 ! But it's on the Facebook page, and we can go through that later. But you can just a way for us, if anybody wants to join or whatever, we can all kind of challenge each other and just kind of play around with it. And then as soon as I can figure out where to stop sharing my screen at, we'll be a lot better off. There it is. So that's just something I created. It's not like regular fantasy teams. You pretty much you create your own. There's 36 drivers. You pick 5 and then a person for the garage. And before the start of the third stage of the race, if your one of your drivers in your top 5 has wrecked, you can go put the guy from the garage in to get extra. That way, there you get points. And there's questions, head-to-head matchups. Who's going to beat? Is this driver going to beat this driver? There's 4 of those too that you get points for. But the trick with NASCAR, the way they do it is there's 26 races, and you can only use each like one driver, like my driver, Josh Berry. I can't use him more than 10 times. 10 times is the limit for the regular season. And then if he makes the playoffs, I can only use him 5 times out of those 10 races. So you have to know when to kind of move people around and change people. I can tell you this as much as I know about NASCAR. I've never finished well in NASCAR fantasy. I don't put stock into anything I tell you because it's not good. But it's just something that I thought, why not create for our group of guys? And like I said, the subscribers, anybody that subscribes, likes, follows us, it's open for those people. And like I said, the username or the group name and the password is all on the Facebook page. So I just kind of wanted to bring that out there. Something new I wanted to try with our group just to see.
What's the maximum number of people who can be in the same fantasy thing?
Isn't one.
It's unlimited.
Yep.
Can multiple people have the same drivers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can set my lineup and you can get my exact lineup and use it every time. I wouldn't suggest it, like I said, but you can. But yeah, the only one that's different is the one that was on the screen a minute ago that said 36 for 36. And that's like one of those streak kind of things where you can only use one driver for each race. So you pick this driver, but then he's done for the year. So it's kind of one of those. And NASCAR awards points. I think first place, if you ever come in first place in the NASCAR Fantasy League, I think it pays something like $50,000 in a trip to a race VIP package.
Okay.
So just something, like I said, fun. Why not try something?
What's the name of the page on Facebook?
Whatever Moss created.
Oh, okay.
But again, I'll be live tomorrow. I'm gonna do I've got my sheet here. I'm gonna give my predictions on the upcoming season because, believe it or not, we are 1 week from Sunday for racing starts. February 1st is the Clash. That's on Fox at Bowman Gray, and I suggest watching it. That's fun. You talk about craziness. So tomorrow I'm going to go live at 7 with my projections for the season, teams to watch, things like that, winners, new winners, first winners, rookie of the year, stuff like that. And then I'll probably jump into some more of this. So if anybody is interested or anybody reaches out to y'all and says, hey, how can I join this? Tell them if they tune in tomorrow at 7 or watch the replay, then they'll get some more info on how it all works.
Okay, cool. And tomorrow, are you going to go over the app as well?
I'll go over the app again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'll probably do what I did and share my screen when I'm going through stuff so people can see it. Probably won't see me on the screen, which is probably better anyway. So I'm going to go through the app. I'm going to go through my predictions. Probably going to be a pretty in-depth show tomorrow. And then we'll get more in-depth as we get closer to like next week. I'll go really in-depth on what's going on with the Clash and how it works and all that. So, and then, then we'll take a week off and then we'll come back after the Super Bowl, go to the other Super Bowl down in Daytona.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments y'all want to make before we wrap up? Because I got one question for y'all, and then everybody else got a question, y'all can go after me. Should LeBron James be entitled to start in this year's All-Star game? He should be entitled to that, shouldn't he?
I don't think so. Listen, man. It's not a career award to start an All-Star game. He's missed a lot of time this season. And it's just time. It's a young man's sport. Should he be in the All-Star game? Absolutely. Should he be a starter? No, sir, Bob.
Spot on. Should be there, not a starter. I don't think so.
The Western Conference is stacked, and he is not on. I agree. He's in the conversation. He's not better than the 5 starters, especially at this stage in his career. If this was 10 years ago, it would be a totally different conversation. But no, not right now.
All right. Anything else y'all want to add before we wrap up?
Who takes the Bills job? That's the most intriguing one.
I don't know. That's tough. Mike McDaniel. They say they might promote their offensive coordinator, but I think they. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that'd be a smart decision.
But they said Mike McDaniel probably going to get the Chargers OC job.
Yeah. Is Harbaugh upset he didn't wait a couple more days?
I think that I don't know. I didn't like it. I think that he obviously has been. I know it's like. I'm sorry. If you think about it, it's like what is it? It's like having Lamar on your team. It's like he hasn't got you to the game, but he's not doing anything wrong, And so it's like you think about it, and you have these great players, and he's honestly a great coach. I think anybody would want to have him, but it's like Tomlin. And that's a good example. It's like he's been a great coach. Should he have got fired? No, I think that they should have kept him around and helped Josh Allen out. But I think that it was a dumb decision by the Bills.
Do y'all think that Mike McDaniel, the offensive coordinator, if he go to the Chargers, he's going to gel with Jimmy?
He's probably using that as a springboard to get back into the head coaching ranks anyway. So you figure with all that talent they have on offense with the Chargers, he goes there and they're a top 5 offense, maybe makes it to the playoffs. They'll be calling him for a head coaching job immediately. So I think even if the case is that it's hard to put up with Harbaugh, you figure, man, I do a season and I'm out of there anyway. All we got to do is have a top 5 offense, and they're gonna be calling me. And with the pieces they got there, I don't think a top 5 offense is far fetched.
He got the quarterback, the most important spot.
I mean, here's my thing about McDaniel is that I feel like he's a little petty. And I feel like when he goes from being a head coach and running his organization, he's going to feel a little weird going and being under someone. And I feel like he's going to have that like thought. He's like, well, I got to answer to somebody now. Normally you just answer to your GM, but he's going to have to answer to a head coach. And I just don't think that I agree with post game is like, if you guys have a good season, you'll get a head coaching job in the future. But I think he's gonna. I don't know. I just don't think it'll mesh well. Having going from head coach to OC, I feel like it's just not the smartest thing. I feel like he should go to another head coaching job or go to college.
College. Interesting. All right, y'all. Well, we ain't got nothing else, man. We can go ahead and wrap up the show.
We got on Tuesdays I like to give my degenerate stuff out here with my gambling. So right now my Blue Jackets are not doing well, losing 2-1. My Dallas Stars, though, however, are up 3-0 on the Bruins. I won't be on Thursday. Don't even bother. I'll be at the Dallas Stars are coming to Columbus, so I'll be at the hockey game. We could have a potential undefeated team drop from the rankings tonight. Miami of Ohio is losing to Kent State right now. So, really all I got. There ain't really much going on tonight. Not a lot of good games. Everything's kind of a blowout except for that one. Yeah.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks, guys. Come on.
I
I know you guys want the Rams to win, and I get it. They're a great team. Stafford's amazing. But you got me. And they're gonna come to Seattle, and they're really gonna see what Seattle ball is like. I was there when they played them, and we came back, and it was the most electrifying stadium in the world. Like I've never experienced anything like it. And even now, that's the NFC Championship game. I don't think Matthews is gonna know what's going on.
You could be right.
I hope I'm right. I could be totally wrong. We could get blown out, but I think Sam's gonna play all right, and we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I think the only team that can blow the other out is I think y'all can blow them out. I don't think they can blow y'all out.
You're probably right.
I'm not sold the Rams winning this game yet. That's just where I'm leaning now. Obviously, I'll do some more digging into it. Again, that's the Super Bowl to me.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how it plays out. Where is the Super Bowl this year?
Santa Clara, California. It's at Levi Stadium where the Niners play.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a good rest of y'all's evening. Everybody tune in to SEC Shines NASCAR Talk tomorrow at 7 p.m. And we'll be talking again soon. I'll see you on Thursday. I'll tune in tomorrow with you, SEC Shine. I won't be on the screen, but I'll be in the chat.
Whatever. If anybody that's in the chat, ask questions, do whatever you want. If you don't know stuff, ask. Like, subscribe, smash the like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notifications on there too for everybody, guys. We got content almost every day. We're doing something.
That's for sure. All right, y'all have a good one. Peace.
All right, y'all be good. Peace.